All right. Welcome to our third and final class today, Yoga Flow. Let's just go ahead and grab your mat. This class has a little more movement than the last two classes I've done online today, so I'm going to be switching back and forth from a side view to a front view. Let me know which one's most helpful to you. I appreciate any feedback about any of this stuff. This is all uncharted territory for me today, so again, we'll get started. And we're going to go ahead and try to calm and center ourselves to start. In fact, that's more or less the theme today, is just trying to find some calmness in the middle of all this chaos. Where you just literally don't know what's going to happen next. And because we don't know what's going to happen next, the best thing we can do is to be fully present here and now. And to be fully present, we need to start to connect our breath with our body and our mind. So sitting up nice and tall, neutral spine. I'm actually sitting on a couple of blocks. That helps me sit up taller, actually one block. Anything that will elevate your rear end may allow you to sit a little taller. So close your eyes so that you can draw your awareness inside. And just breathe in and breathe out. Big long exhale, sigh, whatever you feel like doing here. And again, inhale. Exhale. And just keep doing that. Expand those lungs, fill those lungs, and then empty it all out. Notice where you might be holding some tension. Maybe several places. Notice if you're feeling tender or sore. Carrying tension in our neck and shoulders, for example, can lead to soreness and tightness there. So be mindful of that and just observe without judgment. There's no right or wrong on how you're reacting to everything that's going on right now. Just have to, again, find that calmness, find that center within yourself. So again, with the eyes still closed, just think about really softening your eyelids. Softening that space between your eyebrows. Softening your temples. Relaxing your lower jaw so your teeth are slightly parted. Your tongue's just sinking into your lower palate. Try to release any tension in your neck and throat and shoulders. In your upper back. Lower back, pelvis, and hips. Just notice. Release if you can, but don't judge yourself if you have a hard time right now. Relax your legs, your arms, your hands and your feet, your fingers, and your toes. Let's go ahead and bring our hands into heart center. Elevate the collarbones. Lift the breastbone into the side of your thumb. Interlace your fingers. Press your hands out front. Reach up. And then separate your hands as if you're just spreading a nice protective veil over your whole body. Let's do that 2 more times. Interlace the fingers. Exhale, rounding the shoulders, dropping the chin. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, sweep down. Inhale, bring it back into heart center. One last time, interlace the fingers. Exhale and press away. Inhale, lift up. Exhale as you sweep down. Inhale the hands back into heart center. And just breathe. Elbows sink down, shoulders sink down. So we're going to mix some flow and movement tonight with some held poses. Just to kind of pause and bring our awareness into our body here and there. So we'll go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and come to all fours. If you have a yoga block, keep it handy. If you don't, even like a thick book or pretty much anything that just raises the floor 2 to 4 inches is good. Also, if you have a yoga strap, that's also handy to have. If you don't have a yoga strap, an old necktie will suffice as well. But we can work without either one of those. So let's just go ahead and do a few cat-cows, rounding the back and gently arching. And again, rounding and gently arching. We've got 2 lines here. You've got the line running from the base of your skull to your tailbone, down your spine. But you've also got the line that runs across your shoulders. So you're arching through 2 lines and rounding, top to bottom on the spine and across the shoulders. All right, take those hips side to side, wag your tail. All right, so I'm going to turn sideways because I think it'll be easier to see what I'm doing. So we're going to flow in and out of a child's pose through cat into downward dog. So we start by just pulling our hips back, really reaching those arms out through the fingertips. Round the back, and as you do, tuck your toes under, and we're going to come into downward dog. The Sanskrit name is Adho Mukha Svanasana. So think about really lifting your sit bones here and letting your spine literally spill out of your pelvis down towards your head, relaxing your neck. Your head's just heavy. Trying to decompress your neck here. Let's go back down. So we come down to the knees, put the tops of the feet on the mat, pull the hips back. Do that again, cat stretch, tuck the toes under, downward dog. You can force your thighs back or press your thighs back and gently press the heels toward the floor, but never force them down. At the top of your body, feel your shoulder blades wrapping into your upper back ribs and pressing into your entire hand, but especially your second and third finger. Let's come down again. We're going to flow in and out of this 2 more times. Pull those hips back. Cat. Into downward dog. Exhale. Come back down. Pull back. And again. Come into downward dog. We're going to hold that here. You can think about lifting those sit bones. So alternate bending one knee and then the other. It's walking the dog. And then realign your feet. We're going to step our right leg forward. Put the top of the left knee or left foot on the floor. Lift up into kneeling lunge. Exhale. Inhale again. Exhale, bring your hands down, tuck your back toe under, step back into plank. Stabilizing your shoulders and your core. You can be on your knees or your toes. We're just going to lower down, keep your upper arms close to your rib cage, and then just press into cobra, look across the floor, tuck your toes under, press into downward dog. On your next exhale, step your left foot forward, kneeling lunge, put the top of your right foot on the mat. Inhale, lift up. Exhale. Inhale again. Exhale, bring your hands down. Tuck your back toe under. Step back into plank. Lower down. And just press into cobra, look across the floor, all the way through to downward dog. Alternate bending your knees, right and left. And then soften both knees. Walk your feet to the front of your mat between your hands. Forward fold. Try to have your big toes touching. If you can't reach the floor, this is a good place to have a block or something to bridge that gap. And then we're just going to flatten our back, engage our core, squeeze through your rear end, unhinge at the hips. Come up to mountain pose, Tadasana. I'm just going to turn and face the camera here while I do that, and then turn back. So what you want to feel here are all four corners of your feet pressing into the ground. Your big toe mound, your small toe mound, your inner and outer heel. Lift your toes, spread them, place them on the floor, and then feel your leg muscles hugging your bones all the way up to your pelvis. Gently elevate your pubic bone, and then try to soften the back of your pelvis. And then your spine just reaches right up to the top of your head. Stand nice and tall. Relax those arms. Open from the shoulders. Elbow creases will turn to the front, and your thumbs will roll out to the side. And just stand tall and just feel it like your body's a pillar of energy, rooting into the ground, reaching up. And let's move into some heart sun circles. Inhale, lift up. Pull the hands right on down the midline. And again, inhale, spread the fingertips. Pull it right on down. Just find that flow. Bring the hands into heart center. Elevate your breastbone into the side of your thumbs and just hold that. I'm going to get rid of a layer here. Stay in mountain pose. So I'm going to turn my side to you again. We're going to come back into classical sun salutation from the standing position. So I'm just going to go sideways. So let's just take the hands up. Fold forward, flatten the back, look ahead, step back with your right foot. Top of the foot on the mat. On an inhale, reach up. Exhale and hold, reaching through the fingertips, pointing your tailbone toward the ground. Another breath in. On the exhale, bring your hands down, tuck your back toe under, step back into plank. Knees or toes, stabilizing your shoulders and your core. Elbow creases face the front like a hinge. Press down into cobra, all the way through to downward dog. Really lifting those sit bones, letting your spine lengthen toward the ground. Take one more breath. On that exhale, step that right foot forward, top of the left foot on the mat. Inhale, lift up. Exhale and hold. Inhale again. Exhale, bring your hands down. Tuck your back foot under. Lunge, but we're going to step our feet together. Come into forward fold. Let your head hang. Look through your legs. Flatten your back. Unhinge the hips. Come up to Tadasana. Back to mountain. Again, feeling all four corners of both feet. The leg muscles hugging the bones, giving a nice solid feel to the lower body. Spine is free to reach up to the top of the head. Let's bring the hands back in. Come into heart center. On the next exhale, let's go ahead and breathe in, take the hands up. Fold forward. Flatten your back. This time we're going to step back with that left foot. You have an option this time if you want to keep your toes tucked under and it doesn't hurt your knee. Try that. It's a stronger stretch for that hip. Always listen to your body and do what's best for your body. Bring your hands down. Press that leg straight. Step into plank. Stabilize your shoulders and your core. Lower down. Cobra. Into downward dog. On your next exhale, let's step that left foot forward. Right knee comes down. Option of keeping the toes tucked under. If that hurts your knee, go ahead and put the top of the foot down. Exhale, bring your hands down. Press your back leg straight. Root into your left foot. Bring your right foot alongside. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Flatten your back, unhinge the hips. Come up into Tadasana. And just move into heart sun circles. So find that smooth, gentle flow. Let's do that one more time. Bring the hands into heart center. Elevate the breastbone into the side of the thumbs. And then on an exhale, we're going to fold at the hips and knees and set up for eagle pose or Giridasana. So we're going to keep our weight on our left leg. Take our right leg, either cross it over and just put the toe on the floor or a block, or you can intertwine your leg. Open your arms. Right arm on the bottom, hands either on the shoulders or intertwining the forearms. So we're trying to squeeze the upper arm away and up from the chest as we broaden the shoulders. So you want to really feel this across your upper back, maybe into the base of your neck. You don't want to feel pressure or pain in the front of your shoulders. Just keep breathing here. Just look right into your hands. Bit of a balance pose here. One more breath. Exhale and undo your hands. Uncross your legs. And come back to mountain pose. Broaden the shoulders, let them fall away from the ears. Now 3 or 4 good breaths here. And let's inhale, lift up. Pull the hands into heart center. Hold at the hips and knees. Keep your spine neutral, and you're still looking at well past the front of your mat. This time we're going to keep our weight on our right leg. Cross that left leg over, intertwine if you can. Open your arms, left arm on the bottom, hands either on the shoulders or intertwining. So broaden the shoulders, squeeze the upper arms away from the chest and upwards. Look into your hands. And don't forget to breathe. Feeling that little balance challenge, how your feet shift as your body compensates for shifts in balance. Undo the hands, undo the legs, and we just come back to Tadasana again. So we're going to come out of mountain or Tadasana into Warrior One, Virabhadrasana 1. And the first time we do that, we're going to keep our hips pretty squared up to the front. So I'm going to face the camera. Just find your hip bones. And go ahead and have your feet close together. And all we're going to do is bend that left knee, step back with the right leg, but keep the hips fairly squared to the front. So it's not a real big step here. But really feel the shoulder blades kind of wrap around. Just feel that energy travel up the back of the arm, up through the fingertips. Let's just move on the breath here. Exhale, bring your hands down. Press your front leg straight. Inhale, lift up, bending that front knee, extending up towards the ceiling. Exhale, down again. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, down. And again, inhale, lift up. Exhale, down. Last time, let's hold that, connect our hands, make a pointer with our index finger, and just imagine you're trying to push a button on the ceiling. Really extend upward. Pull the hands into heart center as we step our feet back to the front of the mat. Relax the arms down. Notice if your shoulders tightened up at all or you're starting to shrug towards your ears again, just relax them down. Relocate those hip bones. We'll get the other side. So let's step back now with that left foot. Right foot, knees bent, front knees bent. Lift up, warrior one. Let's do some movement with breath. Exhale, bring your hands down, press your front leg straight. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bring it down. And again, inhale, lift up. Exhale, down. Last one, inhale up. Connect your hands, make a pointer with those index fingers, really extend upward. Breathe. Pull the hands into heart center. Step your feet together. And relax your arms down by the sides. And you can even kind of roll those shoulders to feel how much you can actually open them up. Really try to open them up here. So we came into warrior one, basically from the top down, from a standing position. So now we're going to come into it in a sun salutation. So I'm going to move back over this way again. And we will end up coming into warrior one out of a downward dog. So let's go ahead and lift the arms up. Sit the hips back, come into chair pose, Utkatasana, forward fold, hips come up, head and shoulders drop, flatten your back, step back into plank, stabilizing your shoulders and your core. Now to lower down from this, you have three options. You can just lower directly down, you can do a chaturanga, or I actually do a modified chaturanga, just to protect my wrists and my shoulders. So you start out like a chaturanga, you just let the knees drop, chest, and then the hips come down. And then pressing into cobra or upward dog. Tuck the toes under and press into downward dog, lifting those sit bones up, lengthening the spine. So we're going to go ahead and step forward with our right leg. So angle your left foot, bring your right leg under your body. Root strongly into that foot. Lift up into warrior one. Just hold that and breathe. Really root your feet into the ground like you're trying to leave a footprint in your mat. 2 footprints while we're reaching up to the sky. One more breath in. Exhale, bring your hands down. Step back into plank. It's important to hug your shoulder blades into your back ribs and keep your upper arms close to your ribs as you lower. Down. Cobra or upward dog. Into downward dog. So this time angle your right foot. We're going to step that left foot underneath our body. Lift up into warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. I'll just hold here for a few breaths so we can all come up and be up in the pose. On your next exhale, Let's bring the hands back down. Step back into plank. Stabilize your shoulders and your core. Lower down. Cobra or upward dog. Downward dog. Alternate bending one knee and then the other a few times. And then we're going to bend our knees. And you can either step or hop to the front of the mat. Press into forward fold. Flatten the back, unhinge the hips. Keep that core engaged. Open the shoulders. Come back to Tadasana. Breathe. We're going to repeat that one more time on the other side. So let's go ahead and reach up with the arms. Sit back with the hips, folding at the hips and knees, keeping the spine neutral. Forward fold. Flatten the back. Step back into plank. Stabilize your shoulders and your core. Lower down. Cobra or upward dog. Downward dog. We're going to take a little bigger step this time. So we're going to do that with the left leg first. We're going to go ahead and lift that leg up in a three-legged dog. And then bend that knee and just step under our body and pivot that right foot as we step through. Lift up. And bring your hands down. Step back into plank. Stabilize your shoulders and your core. Arms stay close to your body. Lower down. Cobra, upward dog. Downward dog. Do the same thing with the right leg. Lift it up. Three-legged dog. And then just bring that knee under your body, pivoting your left foot as you place that right foot on the mat. Warrior one. But you'll notice our hips are a lot more open, or out open to the side than we were earlier. Exhale, bring the hands down. Step back into plank. Stabilizing your shoulders and your core. Upward dog or cobra. And then downward dog. It's a good time to check in and see if your neck is staying soft and relaxed. Your head's just hanging like a heavy piece of fruit. Alternate bending each knee a few times. And then go ahead and bend the legs slightly and either step or hop to the front of the mat. Forward fold. Flatten the back, unhinge the hips. Roll the shoulders open. Come back to mountain. Just stand there and breathe. And notice what you're feeling. Across your shoulders, into your hips. One more breath. So let's go ahead and inhale up. Hands into heart center. On your next exhale, sit the hips back. We're going to stay here for a few breaths here. Squeeze your legs against each other and keep your thumbs against your breastbone because that's going to help you keep track of your rib cage. We want to turn the rib cage. So start pushing your hands against each other and go ahead and turn to your right side. Now your feet are interacting with the ground, so your right foot feels like it's trying to slide forward, your left foot feels like it's trying to pull back. So your leg muscles are very active, very engaged. Bring it back to center. Press up tall, interlace the fingers, just give it a good lengthening stretch. Release the hands. Find that breastbone again. Exhale, set the hips back. Hands press against each other. It's like a little pushing contest where the right hand pushes a little harder and rotates the ribs. Feel like you're trying to slide your left foot forward and pull back through your right foot. So this may not look like it's real active, but it should feel like there's a lot going on. And come back to center. Let's come up. Roll the shoulders open. So we're going to build on that. I'm going to come back over to the side and we'll end up extending into a lunge and then coming into side angle. So feet together, mountain or Tadasana, hands into heart center, fold at the hips and knees. So I'm going to turn toward my left and face the camera. So we get that twist going. This time we're going to take that left leg, step it back, and turn our torso, line it up with the side body, and then to get a little connection with that arm and leg, press that bottom arm straight, reach up to the top arm. That bottom arm pressing into your leg helps roll the bottom side of your ribs under, helps you roll the top side of the ribs back, gives you more room to reach. And then we're going to root into this front foot, lift up into Virabhadrasana 2. You probably will have to adjust your feet. Glance down, see if you can see your toes peeking out past that knee, and also that your knee is lining up with your second and third toe. And we're just going to hold that. Imagine you're between two walls, and each middle finger is trying to touch the wall. So really spread your wings here. Rotate the thumbs up, and just gradually start to squeeze the shoulder blades toward the spine, just very subtly. And then we're going to press this front leg straight, touch our thumbs, and come into a wide-legged forward fold. So just hang on to your legs and let your head turn upside down. Squeeze your feet into the floor so you'll feel the inner thigh muscles activate. And then to come up, you have two options. You can either bend the knees and really press into your thighs, or slide your hand into the hip crease and come up that way. Arms reach out. Turn your left toe out. Just go the same way I am. Yeah, this camera is throwing me off a little bit here. Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Thumbs up. And then we're just going to come out of this, go into this side the way we did the other side. So come into side angle. Really reach up. With side angle, if you can deepen that hip angle and try to drop the hip down so it lines up with the body, you do so. If you can't, just do as much as you can. And you can also support here too. Let's bring the hands into heart center and then turn toward this wall. Step together and we come into chair. Press it up. Open the shoulders. We're back to mountain pose. We're facing the other side of the room. Again, stand in mountain and just take a few breaths and assess what you're feeling. Bring your hands back into heart center. Fold at the hips and knees. So I'm going to turn toward the camera, which for me is toward my right. That leg's going to step back. We're just reversing what we did. Come out on the other side. Rotate the torso. Open the arms. Feel that leverage of that bottom arm working with that leg, pressing into that leg. Lift up into Warrior 2. Glance down, see where your knee is. If this hip feels like it's jamming, you can always shift your foot and adjust. Really lengthen, turn the thumbs up, and just really spread your wings here. Open your heart, broaden your chest. Just bring the thumbs together, turn all 10 toes forward, and then come into that wide-legged forward fold. So either grasping some part of your leg, if you feel warmed up enough to do so and it doesn't hurt your back, if you want to just cradle your arms and feel more of your torso weight stretching your back and your legs, do that. Again, be mindful of what's working for your body. Give it what it needs. So we're getting an inversion. Basically, our head's lower than our heart. And that's really good for the central nervous system. Getting some blood flow to the brain. All right, so we're going to press out of that. Turn this toe out, come back into Warrior Two. We're coming back across to that first side again. Side angle. Hands into heart. Pivot around. Step the feet together. Chair pose. And then stand up nice and straight. Open the shoulders. And come back to Mountain or Tadasana. So we're going to transition from standing poses down to the ground now. So I'll take one more big breath in, stretch up tall. Exhale as you fold forward. And just walk your feet out. We're going to hold a little plank here. Get that core engaged, get that core working, and just check in with a few things. You want to feel your shoulder blades anchoring into your upper back, possibly around to the outer rib cage. Elbow creases toward the front. Spread your hands so that you can press into, especially your index finger and your middle finger. You'll feel the center of your hand lift like a suction cup. And that takes some of the pressure off your wrist bone and the heel of your hand. Keep a little bend in your elbows to keep your triceps engaged. If you have trouble with the belly sagging or you keep pressing your rear end up, go ahead and drop to your knees. One more breath here. Then we're going to drop to the knees. Exhale, but the hips are going to be high. Head's going to be down on the mat. Arms are going to be outstretched. And then just round your back out of that. So we're going to come into a pigeon pose series, bringing our right leg forward and rotating the knee out to the side. And this is where we're all going to be different. You may have seen pictures of people getting that shin parallel to the front of the mat. Our hips all vary tremendously in bone structure, so you want to find a place where you're feeling a stretch in that hip without feeling like you're torquing the knee. And then also that leg that's behind you, your left leg, just try to push into the top of your foot. Keep the core gently engaged, elevate the chest, and let the hips continue to sink as we lift through the chest. We'll make our way down. We're just going to do it a step at a time. So if you can go to your forearms without losing that stretch in your hips, do so. If you need to stay lifted up, do that. This is the beauty of being on Facebook Live. We can all do what's best for our body, and we can't see what anybody else is doing. If you feel like you can handle the extra pressure on your hip and you want to go ahead and lower farther and extend your arms out in front, go ahead and do that. But try to really release and soften. You may notice you're kind of guarding in that hip. Try to see if it'll release. See if you need to adjust your pelvis a little bit. One more breath here. If you are forward, put your hands under your shoulders. We're going to shift up a little bit and roll into the outer edge of our right leg, that front leg. Grab that back leg, bring it around. So here, You can either be inside the knee or across the knee. Again, being mindful. If you have to tip way over sideways to get this leg across, then bring it out here. So we'll just give it a little hug first and just sit nice and tall. Relax those shoulders. And try to relax this hip too. And from here we're going to come into Lord of the Fishes. So take that left hand, reach behind you. I call this a little kickstand. Right arm comes across, brace into that leg, and just feel that arm draw the shoulder blade away from the spine. Try to relax your left shoulder, don't let it creep up towards your ear. And just breathe. Your torso is twisted, so breathing in and out in this position actually stretches some deep internal muscles, your transverse abdominis muscles that literally wrap around your midsection like an ace bandage, as well as the muscles in between your ribs. So just for the last few breaths, think about really trying to root that right sit bone down and relax the shoulders just a little bit. See what that does. See what you feel. I feel like my biggest mission as a teacher is to, let you connect with your body as your own internal teacher. On an exhale, let's just unwind, uncross, come back through to all fours. Let me keep the legs out a little bit, like your cat or dog might do when they first get up. And do a quick cat-cow. We're just going to come into the second side the same way we did the first. Rounding and arching a couple of times. And relax. So this time we're going to bring that left leg forward. Same thing, rotate it out. Go by what you're feeling in your hip. And then slowly settle into position. Try to reach into the top of that back leg, that right foot as well. So let the hips sink and just press your hands into the mat and feel like you're pushing up through the shoulders, like we're trying to let everything hang down here and lift up at the top. That'll help the hips release and relax. Keep breathing. And then if you can come down without losing the stretch in your hip, come down to your forearms. You also can come all the way down where you're actually lowering your chest down and reaching forward. And it's all, bone structure is a major component of where you end up. Relax and breathe. Just let that tension, send it out with the exhalation. Notice if you're guarding, you find yourself tensing up in the neck and shoulders. Awareness is half the battle. Just take one more breath. Hands under your shoulders again. Lift up. And then we're just going to shift onto the outside edge of that thigh. Bring that right leg all the way around. And again, either have it crossing inside the knee or out here. But if you have to lean way over to get it here, keep it on the inside. I've actually got one side where I have to go one way and one side doesn't go as far. So get centered up, start relaxing the hips, sinking into the hips, and then take your right hand, reach back, get that support. Left arm comes across, brace into that leg, and just feel how that draws your shoulder blade away from center. So it's a passive stretch into your upper back. What that means is basically your leg is pulling your arm. Breathe. Feel your hips rooting into that left sit bone. Just do one more breath. On the exhale, unwind. Let's go ahead and uncross. We're going to stay seated now. Just let the legs extend out. Give them a little shake. And we're going to go ahead and take our right leg and just bend it and place that foot anywhere along the inner thigh of the left. But keep your left toes, your left leg straight, toes pointing toward the ceiling. We're going to actually take our torso straight out over that left leg. So this is a place where you can, again, use the stickiness of your mat and just get enough traction on those fingertips like you're trying to slide them back. And since they can't slide, it ends up helping pull your torso a little farther forward. You also have the option to go deeper and clasp your foot, whatever you end up doing. Again, anatomy is a factor. I have really super long arms, so that definitely makes a difference on how far I can reach down my leg. All right, let's lift up. So we're going to take this foot and come into what I would call a prep. So you're just going to put the foot on the leg and support it. If you have a block and feel like you want to tuck it in here, that is an option. But this is just kind of an ankle stretch. We're not working toward a full lotus by any means. It's just kind of going halfway there. But if you hang onto your ankle, notice if your knee tries to sink down at all. That's fine if it does. It's just, just an observation. And then we're going to pick this leg up, and you can put your arm underneath your calf. You might want to come around. What we want to do is support this leg and then just use your arms to move that leg, move that thigh bone in the hip socket, so get your leg as passive as possible here. So feel the weight of that leg. If you're so inclined, this is a chance to try to hook your leg over your head. If you're looking at me, looking for me to demonstrate that, you're out of luck because mine don't go there, but this would be the place to do it if you want to try it. Just relax, shake the legs out. We'll get the other side. Same thing here. Foot along any place along that inner thigh. You want to be able to have that right leg straight and your toes pointing toward the ceiling. And just take your torso out over that leg. Use your hands to get a little traction. Help draw that torso forward. Don't forget to breathe. It's surprising when we start bending forward like this, we close off our belly. It does happen. You have the option here of also connecting with your foot somehow and just observing how this side compares to the other side of your body. Virtually none of us are 100% symmetrical as far as our range of motion and our strength and our flexibility. So just, again, notice it and be aware of it. So you want to feel that stretch in the back of your leg. You're probably going to feel it in your back, really the whole back side of the body. Let's go ahead and come up. And we're going to lift that leg up and just place the foot on the thigh. Again, you can let that knee fall. If you have a block or anything to support that knee and you feel like you need to place it there, take advantage of it. But try to let the weight of your leg kind of drift downward and at least let these muscles relax and release somewhat. So that's where the block can be helpful if it's just too much of a pull. If it pulls too hard, the muscles aren't going to let go. They're going to hang on. go ahead and pick that leg up. Again, whatever way works best for you. Arm under the calf, around the thigh. Just enough to be able to support that leg and have your arms drive the movement. Leg is just along for the ride. Nice, easy movement. Alright, let's go and release. Let our legs straighten, give it a little shake. Now we're going to go ahead and come onto our back for Shavasana. It's always important to end a practice with that, even if it can be kind of brief sometimes. It's just a time to kind of let your body process everything we've done to it through the practice today. So the most basic Shavasana pose is really what its name is corpse pose, where you just lay on your back and just let your feet and your hands gently roll out to the side. If you find that that's uncomfortable for your back tries to arch, or it's just feeling like it's not supported enough, one way to take some pressure off your back, I'm going to come sideways, is just to lay down with your knees bent. And then from here, you can actually let your knees fall into each other. You could also let them open up. So just explore some of these options. Figure out whichever one happens to be working best for you today. And just start to feel where your body is touching the mat, touching the ground. Your feet, if your legs are straight, and you're feeling the back of your legs. But at the very least, everybody should be feeling the back of their pelvis, back of their arms, back of your shoulders, back of your head. And then we're just going to kind of breathe in 2 stages here. Try to breathe into your chest and then into the belly. And then exhale from the belly and then the chest. If you want to feel that, just put one hand on your chest and one on your belly. Breathe into the hand on your chest, followed by the hand into your belly, on your belly, and then let your belly fall and your chest fall. And just continue doing that. These controlled breathing patterns, these deep breathing patterns actually counteract all of our fight or flight systems that are probably on high alert right now just because of all the uncertainty. This is an actual physiological response, so it'll help you work with your body to calm it from the inside out. So we'll just lay here for probably about 2 minutes of silence, about 20 breaths or so. So ease yourself out of Shavasana slowly and gently. Rolling to your right side, maybe pausing there for a breath or two, and eventually making your way back to cross-legged pose. And just sit nice and tall and just take a few more breaths. I think a very appropriate thought for today. It's from Jack Lee of Outward Bound. Be calm as things shift and change. Uncertainty is inevitable. Be confident that we have the skills to navigate what's ahead. Be compassionate to yourself and to each other. Namaste. Thank you all for joining me. Have a blessed evening and stay well.